It was just another day in Abuja. Hot, noisy, and heavy, like most days in the capital. Verydarkman woke up early. Around 6:30 a.m. The sun was already up. The room was already warm. The small fan in the corner made a soft whr noise, but it wasn't strong enough to fight the Abuja heat. He sat up on his bed, rubbed his eyes, and reached for his phone. No alarm. He didn't need one anymore. He was used to waking early. He didn't live in a big house. It was just a single room with a small kitchen space. One chair, one table, and his ring light standing in the corner. His life was simple. He brushed his teeth, wore a singlet and jeans, and stepped out. He went to the nearby market in Abuja to buy food items. As he walked past the stalls, people started whispering. "CM, NA Verydarkman," one young man said to his friend. "NA that guy we day fight for Nigerians," someone else added. Verydarkman smiled and kept walking. He was used to the attention now. Some people cheered. Some looked at him with respect. Some with fear. And some with silent hatred. A few fans came closer. One old woman selling vegetables called out, "My Pekin. Don't give up, oh. We day your back. God day with you." He stopped and walked to her stall. "Mama, thank you. I no fit give up. I no day do this for show. I day do 'em for people like you." She smiled. "You day give us hope." He bought tomatoes, onions, and dry pepper. Paid her extra. "Keep the change," he said. As he turned to leave, two young boys walked up to him. "Oga, DEM say you day lie for your video." "DEM say DEM go arrest you again," one of them said shyly. Verydarkman looked at the boy. He was maybe 19. Skinny. Dusty slippers. No hope in his eyes. "If I no talk, who go talk?" Verydarkman asked softly. "If I fear, who go protect Una? The country don't tire me, but I no go keep quiet." The boys nodded silently. By the time he got home, it was almost 11 a.m. He dropped the nylon bags in his small kitchen. His shirt was soaked with sweat. He turned the fan toward his face and sat on the plastic chair beside his small table. His phone had over 200 notifications. It always did. He unlocked it and started scrolling. Many messages were from fans. "God bless you, my brother. You are the voice of the people. I wish we had more people like you." But mixed with those were also messages that were dark. "If you don't shut up, we'll deal with you. You think you're untouchable. Better hide yourself before we hide you." Verydarkman wasn't surprised. He had received worse. He had been arrested before. Dragged to court. Even beaten once. But he never stopped. Why? Because of people like that old woman. Because of that hungry boy in slippers. Because of the truth. He picked up his ring light, set it in front of the wall, and mounted his phone. He was ready to speak again. Today's video was about a politician who had stolen money meant for feeding school children in Kaduna. The same children now sat on dirty floors, hungry, while the politician posted pictures of himself in Dubai. Verydarkman took a deep breath and pressed the red record button. But just then, kpom! Kpom! Someone knocked on his door. He paused. Looked at the door. Another knock. This time softer. He stood up slowly. "Who day knock for this time?" he muttered to himself. He opened the door. It was the security man from the gate. "Oga," the man said, "one Okada man dropped this envelope. Say EB for you." He handed him a plain white envelope. No stamp. No address. No sender name. Just Verydarkman written neatly in bold pen on the front. Verydarkman held it in both hands. He looked at the handwriting. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't careless. It looked serious. He stepped back into the room, closed the door, and locked it. He sat down on the bed. The fan kept turning. He stared at the envelope for a moment. Verydarkman sat on his bed, holding the white envelope in both hands. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of his fan. He stared at the handwriting again. It didn't look like it came from a lawyer. It didn't look like a bill either. Just his name, Verydarkman, written clearly on the front. He had gotten letters before, mostly legal warnings. Sometimes, angry people sent threats in form of fake documents. But this one looked different. No logo. No phone number. No return address. He turned the envelope around once more, as if hoping to find some clue. Nothing. He slowly tore the top open. Inside, there was just one thick piece of white paper. No money. No flyer. No court date. Just a folded sheet. He took a breath. Unfolded the paper. The first line hit him like a slap to the chest. To Verydarkman. I see what you are doing in Nigeria. I respect it. You speak for people who have no voice. You stand for truth. You remind me of why we fight. Remain strong. With full respect. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso. He blinked. Then read it again. Slowly. He sat up straighter. His heartbeat became loud in his ears. His eyes moved from line to line, making sure he wasn't seeing wrong. Could it be real? Burkina Faso? Ibrahim Traoré? The same young African president that many saw as a bold leader? The same man who stood against France, against corruption, and against fake democracy? The same man who carried himself with quiet strength, not show? Verydarkman placed the letter beside him on the bed. He stood up and paced the room. He rubbed his head. He opened the fridge. Closed it again. He picked up the letter. Read it again. Word for word. Still the same. He wasn't dreaming. This wasn't social media clout. This wasn't a shout-out in a comment section. This wasn't an influencer tagging him in a video. This was something different. Something heavier. Something deep. He had never met Traoré. Never spoken to him. Never sent him a message. So how? How did a man in Burkina Faso know what he was doing? How did his videos, in English, filmed in his small hot room, reach that far? How did his voice carry past Nigerian streets, into another country, and into the hands of a sitting president? He sat back down. No tears yet. Just silence. For someone like Verydarkman, who always spoke with fire, who always stood strong even when insulted or beaten, this letter broke through his armor quietly. Not with force. But with respect. Real respect. Not fake praise from people who wanted fame. Not empty compliments. But a message from someone who truly understood what the fight felt like. What standing alone meant. What danger looked like. He remembered something his friend once told him. Bro, even if the whole country ignore you, one person they always watch. At that moment, those words came back, clear in his head. He looked around his small room. Same room where he had cried in private many nights. Same room where he had planned videos that changed conversations in Nigeria. Same room where he sometimes went hungry, not because he couldn't afford food, but because he didn't have peace of mind. The weight of the letter sat heavy in his chest. This wasn't about pride. It wasn't even about joy. It was about confirmation. That all his stress was not in vain. That his voice, no matter how cracked or small it felt at times, was doing something. That somewhere, someone who also carried a heavy load had seen him, really seen him. He folded the letter carefully. Not rushed. He placed it on his table like something sacred. Then he sat back on the bed, leaned his head against the wall, and stared at the ceiling fan. No camera. No post. No voice. Just stillness. He didn't need to say anything yet. Because in that silence, one truth stood strong. He had been heard. For the next few hours, Verydarkman didn't make any video. He didn't tweet. He didn't reply any messages. He didn't pick any calls. He just sat a day. The white paper with Traoré's handwriting lay on the table like it was watching him. Like it had a life of its own. His fan kept spinning. The air in the room was still hot. But he didn't even notice. It was the kind of silence that felt full. Full of thoughts. Full of emotion. Full of meaning. He stood up, then sat back down. Then stood up again. He was not confused. He was overwhelmed. Overwhelmed in a quiet, deep way. So many people insulted him every day. They called him names. They said he was chasing clout. Some even said he was being paid by politicians, the same people he was fighting. Many nights he wanted to stop. He had told his close friend once, "Sometimes I feel like I waste my energy. People no even understand me." But he kept going. Not because it was easy, but because something inside him refused to keep quiet. Now, sitting in that small hot room, he felt something new. Not pride. Not excitement. But something deeper. Respect. From someone who didn't owe him anything. From someone far away. From someone who had risked his own life for truth. And not just any someone, a leader. A president. A soldier. A fighter like him. He looked at the letter again. It wasn't long. Just a few short lines. But those lines carried more weight than 1,000 online likes. He stood up, walked to the corner, and removed a small wooden frame that used to hold an old family photo. He carefully placed the letter inside it. Then hung it on the wall. Right above his plastic chair. Right where he recorded most of his videos. So every time he sat down to speak truth, even when he was tired, even when he was angry, even when he felt alone, he would look at that letter and remember. Someone out there sees him. Someone real. Someone who understands what it means to speak even when it's dangerous. Someone who knows the pain of being misunderstood and still chooses to speak. Later that night, he went outside for some fresh air. The street was quiet. The wind had started to blow. It smelled like rain was coming. A little boy from next door ran past, barefoot, chasing a rubber ball. Verydarkman smiled slightly. Life was still moving. The fight wasn't over. But something had shifted inside him. He took out his phone, opened his notes app, and began to type. Today, something special happened. A message came from a man I respect deeply. It was quiet. It was private. But it spoke loudly to my soul. I know now that this fight is not just for Nigeria. It is for every African who still believes in truth. I will not stop. He didn't post it online. Not yet. Some things are too sacred for the crowd. He saved it. Locked his phone. And looked up at the dark Abuja sky. The stars were few, but they were there. Just like voices like his. Few. But there. And in that moment, standing on the cracked concrete in front of his room, he said quietly to himself, "I go keep talking. Even if only one person hear me. Even if only one man reply." And that was enough. The next morning, the sky was cloudy. Abuja felt slow and heavy, like it was holding its breath. Verydarkman sat in his chair, eyes fixed on the letter hanging on the wall. It was now inside a simple wooden frame, the one that used to hold an old family photo. The letter looked quiet. Still. But strong. He hadn't told anyone about it. Not his close friends. Not his followers. Not even the small group of people who helped him with editing and sharing videos. Some things are too personal to rush online. He had spent the night thinking. About his journey. About the insults. The arrests. The threats. The moments of fear. But he also thought about the victories. The poor man who finally got justice after his story went viral. The school that received donations because of one video. The woman whose shop was saved after she was wrongfully arrested. These were the reasons he had never stopped. And now, that letter was more than just paper, it was confirmation. Proof that truth had reach. Someone outside Nigeria had seen his pain. Someone who had also faced bullets, betrayal, and pressure. A leader like Traoré didn't just write for fun. He wrote with purpose. Verydarkman picked up his phone. It was time. He turned on the camera and sat in his usual chair, the one under the small framed letter. The ring light glowed softly. He stared at the screen for a moment before he pressed record. Then he began. His voice was calm. Not the usual fire. Not anger today. Just truth. Good morning, Nigerians, he said slowly. I know come here today to fight. I come here to thank. He paused. Something happened yesterday. Something big. I know go lie, it touched me deep. He didn't show the letter. Didn't read it out. He kept that part private. But he let his heart speak. Many of you don't insult me. Some say I dey make noise. Some say I no get sense. But person from another country, we no owe me anything, see wetting I dey do. And him respect him. That one alone show say this voice dey reach. This voice dey touch. He continued speaking, not with pride, but with purpose. This fight no be only for Nigeria. This fight na African fight. If we no speak now, we go lose everything. Our leaders dey chop. Our youths dey beg. Our mothers dey suffer. But person like me, and you, we fit talk. We fit change small things. And small things dey turn to big things. He paused again. Looked at the camera. To anybody we dey watch this video, make I tell you, you never too small to make noise. One video fit change something. One post fit wake people. One truth fit go far, even cross border. Then his voice softened even more. If you dey do good, and people no dey clap for you, no worry. Somebody dey watch. E fit no be who you expect. E fit be person we no even talk. But dem dey watch. He ended the video with a calm smile. As for me, I go continue to talk. I no go stop. Because the message don pass border. The truth don fly. And if Captain Traoré see me, then I know say I dey do something right. He pressed stop. There was no need to edit the video. It was raw. It was real. He uploaded it. And walked out. Outside, the street was already waking up. A woman swept dust in front of her shop. Two boys pushed a wheelbarrow full of sachet water. A small girl carried bread on her head, walking beside her mother. Life in Abuja was back in motion. Verydarkman passed them quietly. Some greeted him. Some pointed. Some stayed silent. But this time, he didn't feel heavy. He felt grounded. Stronger. Because now he knew. The fight was bigger than him. Bigger than clout. Bigger than fear. Bigger than borders. As he walked, his phone began to buzz. The video was already spreading. Comments poured in. You made me cry today. Thank you for never giving up. You speak for all of us. Traoré is watching? Then bro, you're doing something right. He didn't reply. He just smiled, hands in his pockets, walking down the road like any other man. But inside him, something had changed forever. He knew now that the voice of one man could echo across a continent.